Everybody, welcome to the webinar. I hope that you are well. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me today for this very special presentation where we are going to be looking at 3 alternative ways to promote your beauty business, which are not social media, because I kind of feel like everyone gets obsessed with social media, don't they? So we're going to look at some alternative ways today to grow your business. I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat box first of all, so you can go ahead and say hello. Let's do that and do that. So the chat should now be open. Drop me a little hello in the chat if you're here live with me. I'd really appreciate that. Good to see so many of you in here with us today. And we're going to be starting in just a moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Hey, Elaine. Hi, Stacey. Hi, Nina. Great to have you all with me here today. Really appreciate it. We're not going to be going today for quite as long as sometimes that we do. So if you're here on your lunch break or something, then this is going to be just perfect for you. So hi, Gillian. Hi, Sharon. Hey, Maria. Right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So if someone can do me a favor, please, and just drop a little yes in the comments if you can see my slides. You should be able to hopefully see my slides. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Elaine. Hi, Adrienne. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate it, all of you. We're just going to dive right in here, and anyone else who's coming along, they can come and join us as and when. But I'm going to start, guys. I've got some bad news for you. I've got some bad news for you, and that is that social media is lying to you, right? Shocker, I know, but social media is lying to you. And so much of what you see on social media is smoke, mirrors, and a word that I can't say at this time of the day because there might be junior ears listening, but nonsense, right? Stuff that comes out of the wrong end of a cow, okay? And here's why, guys, right? Because most people are not a success, right? Most businesses don't make any real money, and furthermore, they fail within the first 3 years. So if you don't want to be like most businesses, and you don't, then you need to stop acting like most businesses. And one of the things that most businesses do is they not only obsess with social media, but they put so much of their time and their efforts into the platform without getting any of the type of results that they truly want. Let me show you this. This is the money pyramid. And the money pyramid is true for any cross-section of any industry, including the beauty industry. And this tells us that out of every 100 beauty business owners, on average, 20 of those 100, they're just flat out broke. A huge 60% are endlessly struggling financially. They are on that hamster wheel, right? Where the months are too long for the money. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not. Only 15% are making a good living. A tiny 4% are prosperous, and just 1% are rich. This means that a full 80% of salon owners are either getting by or they are struggling. And that was never the plan, right? It was never the plan for them. And I'm sure it wasn't your plan either. And the reason why they are struggling is because they have not cracked the code to bringing enough clients into their world and making sure that they see those clients regularly enough and that those clients are spending enough money with them. So if you want to break out from the 80% and join the ranks of the top 20, like I know that you do, then you need to consider acting differently from those vast majority. And again, I know full well there will be people watching this right now who are spending 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day on social media. And I promise you that isn't what the 1% are doing. Now, I do not want you to misunderstand the message today. I'm not saying don't do social media, okay? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that social media is not the only way to get in front of your clients. And furthermore, there are other ways which are actually much less competitive. And you need to remember that plenty of millions and plenty of millionaires were made long before social media was even a thing. If you're of a certain age, like I am, then you will remember that there was a time in business pre-social media. And there were lots of businesses that made plenty of money during that time. And then social media comes along and it's like, oh, don't worry, you can do what you like on our platform and you don't have to pay and you can reach anyone in the world. And it made people lazy with their marketing because they just assumed that all they had to do was put anything out there and all the clients in the world would see them and engage with them. And yes, there was a time that that was true, but that ship has long since sailed, as I'm sure you have realized just from hanging out on social media in 2024. And the other thing is that attention might be easier to get and keep elsewhere. And attention is one of the key currencies of the modern era. And it's getting harder and harder to get people's attention. And it's certainly getting much, much harder to keep it because nowadays everyone is just so distracted, aren't they? Especially on social media, right? And you're just a swipe or a scroll away from being forgotten potentially forever. So what I recommend that you do is just make social media a part of a varied marketing mix. Don't put all of your eggs in one social media shaped basket, people. Okay? Yes, do social media, but leverage it and use it so that it becomes as part of a varied way of bringing people into your world. My name is Ryan Power. I'm a beauty business mentor, author, marketing geek, and hummus enthusiast. And I co-founded Salonology with my co-founder, Holly, over 10 years ago. And we exist to make the lives of beauty business owners much, much easier. We have the aim to help you make more money and enjoy a better work-life balance. And the main way that we do that is via our Salonology Gold Club coaching program, where we help more than 350 salon owners and beauty business owners just like you every single month. I've also written a few books. I've been thankfully on just about every platform in the UK, been published in all the different magazines, but also this particular presentation, this was the presentation that I did last week at the LashBase Trainer Conference. Maybe you were there, maybe you saw it live, maybe not. But the most important slide of this whole introduction is this one. And this is our own day spa and salon that Holly and I own for more than a decade. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because, as always, everything that I talk about in these trainings are things which we either did in our salon or they are things that we do with our coaching clients. So you can be assured that everything I'm going to teach you and talk about today absolutely works, okay? So let's start with a quiz, shall we? Oh, quiz time. And good news for you. Good news. We're going to have a prize as well. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So if you're watching this live, then this is your cue. Feel free to dive on into the chat, because the and this is a mercifully short quiz. It's only one question long, but the question is, what is the name of this building? If you know what the name of this building is, then drop it in the chat. The very first person to comment in the chat with the right answer will win a prize. It's not the Colosseum, Elizabeth. It is the Parthenon, Heather. Well done. Heather, you have just won a copy of my book. Congratulations. The Parthenon is a temple that dominates the Acropolis at Athens, and it was built in the mid-5th century BC, as 2,500 years ago, and it was built as a dedication to the Greek goddess Athena. And originally, it had 69 pillars holding the business up. And you might be thinking, well, thanks for the history lesson, Ryan, but what the heck has this got to do with my beauty business? Well, this is what it's got to do with it. The fact of the matter is that this incredible temple would never have lasted the test of time as it has, had it not been for all of the pillars which hold the structure up. And your business is like the Parthenon, and each of the pillars which hold your business up, they are the marketing channels by which people enter your world. And if you are reliant on too few pillars, too few ways for people to come into your world, then you know what's going to happen, right? Because what would happen if that only had one pillar, right? Everything would topple over, wouldn't it? And this is constantly what I see people doing right now, is they are building their business purely on social media. And that means that if anything happens to that social media platform or that channel or that way of bringing people in, everything falls apart and everything crumbles. And I don't want that for you. And I'm pretty sure you don't want that for you either, right? So with that in mind, we're going to look at some other pillars that you can have in your business to hold your own Parthenon up. And again, remember, this is going to be in conjunction with your social media. I'm not saying don't do social media. What I am saying is don't rely 100% on social media with no other opportunities for people to come into your world. So the first alternative way to promote your beauty business, which is not social media, is paid ads. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? I'm paying to advertise your business? Whatever next? And again, social media has kind of spoiled people, right, over the last decade, because it has taught people to believe that you shouldn't have to pay to promote your business. And anyone that's been in business longer than social media has been around, that would know that you always had to pay. Before social media existed, if you wanted to put an advert in your local paper or in the yellow pages, right, then you would have to pay, because of course you would have to pay. But then social media came along, and in the early days, you could just post to your page and everyone would see it. And this led people to believe that that's what advertising is and that's what marketing is. But those days are long gone. So you're going to have to come up with more than just organic social media these days, right? Because one of the overarching problems, and you've probably found this with your own social media channels, and this is all channels. It's not just, this is Facebook, Instagram, this is all of them, right? The problem is that it's difficult to get in front of new people. Because what you will find is, let's say for argument's sake, you've got 500 followers or 500 people following your page. And let's say you get a reach of 10%, which you'd be doing really well. That would be 50 people on average seeing your posts. But here's the problem. It's the same 50 people. So you might have 500 people following you, but you can bet your bottom dollar that all those 500 are not seeing your posts, not organically anyway. It will just be the very, very small number who engage with them, and they'll keep getting shown them more and more. So sadly, that might well be your friends and your mum, right? They're trying to help you and being supportive by engaging in your post, which is great, but it means they're the only ones seeing the flipping things. So if you're really struggling with social media, this might be one of many, many potential reasons, but that might be one of the reasons why. Serious business owners, and I know you're a serious business owner, or you wouldn't have taken time out of your day today to learn some of this stuff, but serious business owners, they understand, firstly, what a client is worth to them, and secondly, how much they will pay to acquire one. Because you should know as a business owner how much it costs to bring a new client into your world. And you should also know how much that client is worth to you on average. And again, your booking software will be able to share some of this information with you, because you will be able to see on average how many times people visit you before they leave your world and how much they spend when they visit you. So what I want you to start thinking about, if you're not already doing so, is I want you to consider how much you would pay to buy a client. And that's how I want you to start looking at it, buying clients. Because the way that you should view this, and this needs to be built into your pricing, right? So you've already got that built into your pricing, the cost to acquire a client, the cost of that lead generation, the cost of that lead conversion. I want you to think about it in those terms. And here's why. Because when you have really got that down, you're going to win the game. I promise you, you are going to win the game. Because if you know, for example, that the average client, when they come into your world, let's say over the lifetime of that client, let's say they're worth £500 to you, well, wouldn't you pay 50? Wouldn't you pay £50 to get a client in if they're going to give you 500 over the life of the client? You might pay 100 for that. You might pay 200. And yet there are people who are like, well, I don't want to do anything unless it's free. That is a mindset of lack or ignorance, or possibly both. So I want you to really think about this moving forward, because when you think about client acquisition, buying clients, as well as attracting them organically as well, it can be a total game changer. That's how you obliterate your competition, because you're then paying to be in places that they're not going to be. And then your clients start to feel as though they're seeing you everywhere, even though they're not. And then that is how you dominate your local marketplace. Google is still the #1 search engine outside of Gen Z. And given that we know that, don't you think it would be a really, really good idea to make sure that your business shows up when people are going to Google searching for what you do? And yes, you can get there organically if you've got a good company doing your SEO for you, but you can also just pay to be at the top. I mean, talk about ultimate shortcut. Just give Google a little bit of money and they'll put you at the top. What do you do if you're going to look for a new plumber? I bet there's every chance if you've got a plumbing emergency, you go straight to Google and you type in plumber near me, plumber in Reading, broken sink, Loughborough, whatever it might be. Your clients are doing exactly the same thing on Google. And if your website isn't showing up organically, then you can hack the system, guys. You just give Google some money and they will put you at the top. But again, you need to make sure that the cost of them putting you at the top is all incorporated into your prices. This is why it's so important to understand your numbers. And if you are a member of our Gold Club, then we have a pricing calculator that you can use, which works all of this out for you. So you know exactly how much you need to charge, and you know exactly which of your treatments make the most money. So you can calculate how much you can afford to spend to buy a client. And even if you are targeting Gen Zers, and they're mostly searching on Instagram and TikTok, then you can run ads on those platforms. And the reason why you might want to do that is because we spoke about this earlier. Your organic posts are just going to be seen by the same small group of your followers. If you want to reach people outside of that, you've got to pay. That's how it is these days. You've got to pay. And I know a lot of people moan and grumble about that. Why should I have to pay? Because Facebook is a business, just like your business is a business. You're not going to give away free treatments. Mark Zuckerberg isn't going to give you free advertising space. Well, actually, he is, but just not very much. So he'll give you a smidgen. And if you want more than that, you're going to have to pay for it. And here's the reason why this is so powerful and why this is such a good strategy. And that is because, according to Google research themselves, on average, people need 11 touch points with you before they will trust you. 11. That means they've got to see your name 11 times. It means they've got to watch your videos, read a testimonial, read a blog article you've done, whatever it might be, 11 times before someone trusts you enough to do business with you. So again, when you're running ads, you're hacking into that system because you can be seen by people way more times, way quicker, right? So how do you do it? Well, what you need to consider first, as you will have heard me talk about a lot, is you need to really think about who your dream target client is. Who is it that you're actually trying to attract? Because if you try and attract everyone, you're going to attract no one. So you need to get really tight on who it is that you want to bring into your world. And then you just consider where it is they are hanging out. And if I could summarize marketing in one sentence, and you're going to want to write this one down, it would be this. You need to work out who your dream clients are, the message they need to hear, and lastly, where to put that message. Please write that down and understand what that concept means. Because not everyone is going to be a perfect fit for your business. And if you're just putting out bland messaging, which is just like, buy my stuff, then you're not going to attract very many people. You need to really consider what it is you actually help people with. What are you really doing for them? What are their pain points? What are their needs? What are their desires? And how do you help them achieve those things either faster or with less effort? And then you make your message around that. You talk to people's emotions. And then you need to just work out where you need to put that message. It might not even be on Instagram. It might not even be on Facebook. It might be, but it might not be. That's what you need to go and find out for yourself based on your dream clients. And what I recommend that you do is you put yourself in their shoes. So let's say, for argument's sake, let's say that you offer cryolipolysis, right? Fat freezing. If you were the client and you were considering cryolipolysis, where would you be looking? Would you just be on Facebook? Or would you be watching videos on YouTube? Would you be reading blog articles? Would you be reading magazines about it? Would you be listening to podcasts? I don't know. That's what you need to find out. But you need to put yourself in their shoes and work out what are the steps that they would be taking to try and solve that problem. And then make sure that you appear somewhere in that journey. And again, you want to think broader than social media. It might be that your dream client that you help with might subscribe to a local magazine. It might just be that you might be able to easily get featured in that magazine. And again, think about how engaged someone is when they're sitting down reading a magazine versus when they're scrolling on social media. The key to this, guys, is to test, measure, and adjust. You're not going to hit the jackpot on the first spin. And you need to test new ways for you to bring people into your world. And I would recommend you have at least half a dozen of these ways. So you want to try and have 6 pillars to your Parthenon, 6 different ways that people come into your world. And I'm not going to allow you to include referral or word of mouth as one of those 6 ways, because that's a bonus and that's great, but we can't do much to get more word of mouth. We can't turn the word of mouth tap on very easily. So you need predictable and scalable ways to bring people into your world. Hopefully you're going to get a few ideas for that on the remainder of our session today. So in terms of paid ads, things that you might want to consider: Google Ads. Right? Everyone is on Google. Everyone searches for stuff on Google. So consider that. I mean, even within Google Ads, there are 24 different ways that Google allow you to advertise on their platform. 24. So whilst everyone thinks about the one which is go to the search engine, and when you type something in, you appear at the top, that is just one of 24 different ways that you can advertise with Google. You can advertise in people's Gmail. You can advertise on people's YouTube videos, because Google own YouTube, right? They're the #1 and #2 search engines, by the way, and Google own both of them. So if you're not on Google and you're not putting effort into making sure you show up where your clients are on Google, then this is going to be a huge potential area that you can really get some wins. Again, you might want to start running ads on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok if you know that is where your local clients definitely are. And by the way, you don't have to figure all of that out yourself necessarily. We have trainings on both of those within our Gold Club membership, but you might just want to get an expert to do that for you. Right? You might just want to say, look, I don't want to learn this because it's complicated. I'm just going to pay someone, and that's cool. But again, you need to make sure that you've priced yourself accordingly so that you can afford to do that. Because again, I want you to get this understood. When you can just outspend your competition on ads profitably, you win. Your competition probably aren't running any ads. They probably haven't even been savvy enough to show up today, right? What about local newspapers or local magazines? Maybe they would be a good place for you to be featured. Really anywhere that puts you in front of your clients. And you need to work out where those places are based on your clients. And what I'm really encouraging you to try and do here, guys, is rather than leverage your time, leverage money. Again, what a lot of people do is they just are constantly doing organic social media and they're spending hours a day on it. That's not free. That's hours of your day that you're never going to get back. You can never get the time back. You can always make more money. So rather than always trying to do the free versions of everything, get your pricing right and structure it so that you can afford to buy your way in. It's much quicker. It's the fastest route to the money. It's just to buy your way in. So make sure you're pricing yourself as a premium so you've got that leeway that you can afford to do that. Okay. Is this making sense? Drop a yes in the comment if that makes sense to you, and if that's something that you've not really considered before, right? Because I know that for a lot of people, they wouldn't have ever considered that. Excellent. Okay. All right. Do you want another one? Shall we have another one? Right. The next alternative way to promote your beauty business, which is not social media, is email. And if you've been in our world for any amount of time, you'll have heard me banging on about email previously. And the reason why I am so passionate about email is because when we owned our Day Spartan salon, and by the way, we had 9 diary columns to fill. 9. That's a lot of columns, right? We had a big, big team. And the #1 way that we filled that diary out was using email. And that surprises a lot of people because they're sending emails and they're not getting any clients. And yet I was sending emails and I was getting hundreds of bookings. Well, why is that? Probably because I was doing it different to how you do it, right? And by the way, yes, we ran paid ads. So when I just said that was our #1 way of getting people in, that's true. But we also ran Google ads, we ran Facebook ads, we did a whole load of stuff. We have plenty of pillars to our Parthenon. Not on day one, but over the 10 years that we owned it, we built more pillars and more pillars and more pillars, okay? And that's what I want you to think about. So let's talk about email and why I'm so passionate about email. Well, The number one reason why is because you own the data. And on social media, you do not own the data. Mark Zuckerberg and his cronies do. And they are just renting it to you on a very much part-time basis. And if they want to remove it again from you, then they can do that. When you build a business on social media, you are doing so at the whim of the social media platforms. And what I would recommend that you do is you leverage your social media followings, if you have one, and you then get them off social media and on to your email list, where you can then control the conversation and the deliverability. And you can also protect yourself from blackouts or from losing everything. I got hacked earlier this year. Maybe you've been hacked before. It's horrible. It's like someone's broken into your house. Now, thankfully, because my account is Meta verified and I've got the little tick, they secured my account and they got it back within an hour, right? I was lucky, because there are lots of people who have had their accounts hacked and they've lost it forever. And unless you pay, don't expect Meta to help you very much, right? They're not going to. And that can happen for any number of reasons. You can be hacked, or it might be that you put up an advert and it breaches their rules and they shut you down. Could be due to a mistake. I've heard all of these examples happen in real life. And don't think you get a warning, because you don't. It just gets pulled out from under your feet. And if you have built your business purely on social media, as I know so many people have these days, especially on Instagram, where it's literally, they don't even have a website. Everything is done through their Instagram account. That is seriously skating on thin ice, folks. Because what happens if that account goes? Your whole business overnight gone. Not cool, right? So get those people off the socials and get them onto your email. And the other good news about that is you've got much less competition, because I'm sure you've done a search on Instagram for whatever it is you do, plus your town name, and you'll see there are dozens of people that do exactly the same thing as you. They all do social media. Very few people do email, and even fewer people do email properly. You're also going to get a massively increased readership on Instagram or Facebook. You're doing well if you get 5% reach. And for a lot of you, it'll be no more like 1%. For every 100 followers, 1 people will see your content, which isn't really very good, is it? On email, you might get open rates anything as high as 70%. Eva says the opening rates of the emails I send to my subscribers is embarrassingly declining each week. Well, Eva, in that case, I've got 2 suggestions for you. Number 1 is mix up the content that you include. Number 2 is put more thought into your subject line, because that's going to be one of the key determining factors to whether or not people open the email. One of the beautiful things about email is that you can build relationships using it. Most of you watching this today, or a lot of you watching this today, are going to be watching it because I sent you an email about it. And what I recommend that you do, and again, if you get my emails, you know, I mean, copy them, right? Because I don't send a newsletter. We tried that in the salon. We tried it. It didn't work. No one wants a newsletter. They don't care. But what they will respond to and read are stories. Stories lead to sales. So sending emails that are story-based and not heavily formatted outperform the newsletter style email, in my experience, time and time and time again. And typically when I teach this to someone and they do it, one of the first things they say to me is, oh, Ryan, people are actually replying to my emails now when they never used to reply to them before. And when people start replying, then you know you're doing something right. With an email, you can also segment your audience. So that means you can then send more relevant content to people. Yeah, more relevant content, because you can send different messages to people maybe who have just inquired but never become a client. You could send a different message again to people who have been in to see you once, and maybe you send a different message again to your VIPs or your regulars. Really easy to do that with email, not as easy to do that on social media. Elizabeth says, how do you teach people what to write? We've got a program on that, Elizabeth, where I break down my entire email strategy and go into much more depth. And that is one of the many courses that we include within our Gold Club group coaching program. We show you how to do all of it. The other thing about email is it's as good as free, right? And that means that you get a staggering return on investment versus other forms of advertising. All you got to pay for is the software to send your emails, which will cost you like less than $20 a month for good software. And that's it. Brilliant, eh? And if ever you look at the charts, it almost always outperforms other forms of advertising because it's so powerful, yet so inexpensive and so simple to do. Yeah, I said that you need I just said that you need some proper software to send it with, Elizabeth. So you're going to need a proper piece of email software to send your emails. If you're sending mass emails, you can't send them via Gmail or Hotmail or anything like that, because due to GDPR, you have to have an unsubscribe link in your email. So you could use MailChimp. I recommend one called ConvertKit or MailerLite. Any of those is absolutely fine. And ConvertKit and MailChimp are both free up to a certain number of people, and depending on what actual features you want the software to do. Personally, I pay a lot more than that because I like some of the geeky features that you can pay for, because I find that if I do that, then I make more money because I get more sales. But start with the free package and you can go from there. So here's some tips on how to do that. What I recommend that you do is offer up a free resource in exchange for people's email address. And what I encourage you to do is then share that on your social medias, right? And when you have conversations with people, because you want to get them off wherever you're having that conversation at the minute and get them into your email where you can control that conversation. And the free resource should not be a newsletter, okay? I'm going to bash newsletters a bit here, so apologies if you currently send one. But the thing is, if you at the moment are saying, well, I've got an offer on my website where people can add their details and join my newsletter list, I suspect that I can accurately predict how many people have signed up to your newsletter this week. And my prediction is 0. Because no one wants to read your newsletter, right? So we want to give them something a bit better than a newsletter. We want to give them something which is of great value or interest, but specifically for your dream target client. So again, this is why you need to have a real clear idea of who it is you're trying to attract. We want something that is really specific to them, which talks to the problem they're trying to solve. Because this is what you do. You solve problems for your clients. You don't just hamper them, help them, right? Well, you can do that as well. But when you're solving problems, people pay a lot more money to have a problem solved than just to have a nice, relaxing time, even if the treatment is the same. Right? It's just how you position it. So you need to be positioning yourself as the solution to all of your target clients' problems. So here's some ideas of what you might want to do. You could create a really, really simple PDF. I knock these up in Canva in seconds, right? Healing You, 6 powerful healing techniques to try from home, right? If you were a holistic practitioner, right, and you were looking to attract clients into your world, something like that might be good for you, right? What about this? Fall in love with your skin again. 6 skincare tips from Manchester's #1 skin expert. Now, if I was living in Manchester and I saw that and I knew that, or maybe I could do with a bit of skin help, I might read that, mightn't I? I might get those 6 tips. And then what would I think if I then got an email through from that person saying, hope you enjoyed the book, right? Why not come in for a facial? Right? Because you know those people have got potential issues that they need your help with regarding their skin, right? Or what about how to better love your hair every day? The ultimate home hair guide. 7 simple tips for stronger, thicker, more manageable hair from today. And these literally, you would write them and it could just be 2-3 pages long. You're not trying to write War and Peace here. It's not about writing you don't write an actual book like I did. You don't need an actual book. It's just like a 2 or 3 page PDF to get someone a quick win and to position you as the expert, to position you as the person that can help them solve their problem. Because that is what everyone wants to do. Your clients are walking around with problems. And when you can demonstrate to them that you're the person that can help them with their problems, you're going to find this whole business thing much easier, guys. Okay? So you send them the free resource and then you just follow up with them afterwards to see if you can help them. Did you get my guide? Did you have any questions? Is this something that I can help you with? It's really not rocket science. And if they don't buy, then you just continue to send them emails every week, right? Just continue to send them emails every week. But rather than a heavily formatted newsletter, I would encourage you to try simple, chatty, personalized emails which simply tell stories. If you were to send your friend an email, would you go compose on Gmail and then put a picture in there and put a big headline and make it pink and make the letters all go up and down? No, of course you wouldn't. You'd just press compose and start typing. They're the emails that you should send to your clients, ones that look like that. Because the thing is, guys, people don't care about your news, but they will love to read your stories. News has got negative connotations. People don't like the news anymore because I don't know if you've ever seen the news, but it's pretty depressing to watch. They don't even show that little feel-good story at the end anymore like they used to, did they? Oh, no, ain't got time for that. We're just going to drill more bad news down your neck, right? So because of that, people aren't interested in news. So they definitely don't want a newsletter because it's got a negative connotation. Stories, however, we all like stories. We're hardwired to enjoy reading them. So here's why your newsletter, if you currently send one, sucks. First of all, they get trapped in spam filters. The internet email service providers, they understand what a newsletter is versus what a newsletter isn't. And they know that people don't like them. So they stick them in your spam filter, whether or not you like it or not. They're also boring. They don't work like they used to. And moreover, they often look terrible on a mobile device because everyone's mobile device is different. So it formats it differently and it doesn't always look good. It doesn't look the same as when you're sat designing it on your computer. And the other thing is that they are just viewed by your clients as a thinly veiled sales pitch, right? Because, you know, you're not Boohoo. You're not Sainsbury's. When they send out their newsletters, we know, don't we? We know that in there somewhere, there's going to be a money off coupon, or are they going to try and sell us something, or they're introducing us to something new. We know that before we've even opened it. So we don't bother opening it. And that's what your clients are doing. People just don't want to read them. So if your email looks something like that, then I would thoroughly encourage you to stop with that. Here's what our salon emails look like and still look like now for this business. Plain text format, written from one friend to one friend, because they're the emails that people want to receive. Yeah. Easy to read and digest. Just one idea or story per email and send them at least one a week. And the whole purpose of it is to try and build relationships. That's the whole purpose. Because when people know you, like you, and trust you, they're going to come and give you more money. If they don't know you, like you, or trust you, forget about it. That is the sort of email I'm talking about. Looks like that, which you'll be used to seeing already if you get emails from me. Right? Ding. Here's how to put it all together. Start with a hook to keep them reading. Tell them a story. And then end with a call to action. And that is it. right? It really is that simple. Would you like to see an example of an email like this that I have written so you can see what I mean pulling it all together? Drop a yes while I have a slug of coffee. No one want to see it? Oh, someone does want to see it. Okay. All right. This is the sort of email I'm talking about. Let's go through it. You would not believe the conversation I had with my bestie Julie this weekend. She was moaning as she's booked her trip to Marbs in June, but she's not exactly feeling beach ready. It's not easy, is it? Especially after having little ones. I let her in on my dirty little secret, though, which I was surprised she didn't already know about. Fat freezing. Well, needless to say, she's now booked in for this week and looking forward to the same inch loss that my other clients have enjoyed. Bring on the beach, eh? If you'd like to chat with me about this, then my inbox is always open. Just reply to this email and I'll reach out to you. Have a great week, Tessa. So this is an email that we could send, assuming we are Tessa, to people who might be interested in fat freezing. All it's doing is telling a simple story. And not only that, but it's also doing a few other things, isn't it? It's tapping into the pain points that that client might be thinking about. So if the client themselves has had that experience of booking a weekend away with the girls or getting ready to go away on holiday and not feeling beach ready, right? Because magazines today make it pretty much impossible, right, to live up to the expectations that they set of airbrushed supermodels, right? So do you think a lot of people maybe feel a little bit about going to the beach? Yeah, I would say so, right? And then it's not easy, is it? Especially after having little ones, right? If I'm reading that and I've had a little one and I'm not feeling beach ready, can you see how that would resonate with me? Right? I'll continue. I let her in on my dirty little secret. People love dirty little secrets, right? They love that. Okay. Fat freezing. Right. Now, needless to say, she's booked in, right? That shows social proof. And she's looking forward to the same inch loss that my other clients have enjoyed. What does that say? It says, this ain't my first rodeo. I've done this for other people and they loved it. And then the call to action is really simple. If you want to chat with me about this, my inbox is open. Just reply. How easy is that? You don't even have to go and click a link. Put your credit card away. I just want you to have a chat. You're taking them from a one-to-many conversation to a one-to-one conversation, and then you can close them. Now, at the moment, I know that a lot of people would simply send out emails about fat freezing, which just say things like, fat freezing, £99. No one is going to buy off that. You've got to tap into their emotions. You've got to know your client. And obviously, this is written for Tessa's dream client, assuming that they are people that have children that are interested in fat freezing. Is the penny dropping, folks? Right? Can you see how doing this different way of doing it is going to outsell a newsletter or just bland, it costs this month, this much messaging, right? The sort of, or this week it's only £99. It's just not gonna, it's not gonna bring people in, right? And do you think that this one would even have to discount it? No, I wouldn't. All right, that's the second way. You ready for a third way? The third way to promote your beauty business, which is not social media, are collaborations. And this might be one of the biggest shortcuts, one of the biggest hacks, call it what you like, that there is. Collaborations, right? Why collaborations? Because someone somewhere already has a relationship with every dream client you could ever want. I'm going to say that again because it's that important. Someone somewhere already has a relationship with every dream client that you could ever want. All you need to do is find them and create a win-win-win. And a win-win-win means it's a win for them, it's a win for you, and it's a win for the client. Here's how it's done. You need to start by identifying who you want to collab with. And moreover, you want to consider who has the relationship that you want to leverage. I'm going to give you some examples in a minute. Do not panic. And then you reach out to them. And my suggestion would be that you are interesting or different, because they might get lots of requests, especially if you're targeting people on social media, but there are plenty of other options as well. And again, we're going to come on to that in a second. And I recommend that you go into it already knowing what you want to propose, right? So go to someone with a suggestion of how you might be able to do something together, not go to them and just say, oh, hi, I wonder if you want to do something. Yeah, I don't know what, but maybe we could have a chat about it, right? That's wishy-washy and disrespectful for people's time. And again, set it up as a win-win-win. Right, who might you want to do this with? Well, any non-competing local businesses who serve the same target client that you do. So again, you need to be thinking about your dream target client. And if you've never really given that any thought, then hang around, because that's one of the things that we help people with, right? So if, for example, you are a vegan hair salon, a non-competing local business who serves the same target client as you might be a vegan cafe, right? Because people that like vegan cafes are probably interested in vegan hair salons. And again, if you're hair and you don't do beauty, or you're beauty and you don't do hair, then there's a crossover. It might be that you offer sports massage. Well, maybe you should have a collab with all of the major sports teams in your area, because they've probably got a whole load of people that need massages, right? It's thinking outside the box, guys. What about a podcast host? If there are certain podcasts that your dream target client listens to, then maybe you could be a guest on that podcast. Maybe you could sponsor it. Again, buy your way in. Or maybe you could just promote the show for them, and sooner or later, they're going to notice you. If you keep sharing their posts and tagging them, they're going to see you at some point, aren't they? Maybe website owners. Maybe you could be a guest contributor to a website. Maybe your local newspaper or local radio station, maybe they have a website that is read by lots of your potential dream target clients. Maybe if you contacted them, you could write a column for them with local beauty tips. What would that do for your positioning? People would get to know you as the local beauty expert. We have had loads of clients do this. They've got radio shows. We've got multiple clients that have got their own radio slots. And all they did was just reach out to the radio station. It's not difficult, because they have got oodles of airtime, and in newspaper and magazines cases, oodles of column inches that they need to fill. So if you can provide some of that content for them, they're going to be mighty glad that you did that. And if there aren't opportunities, buy your way in. See if you can sponsor their website and put banners on their website. If all of your dream target clients are going to that website and looking at their web pages, don't you think that would be a good place for you to show up? Might be, might it? Maybe local publications, again, local magazines, maybe. Not difficult to get positioned in. Maybe influencers. I recommend you're careful with influencers personally, because you want to make sure they truly have influence, truly over the people that you're actually trying to attract. But for some of you watching, social media influencers might be a really, really good place to start. What about local events? If there are local events that happen in your area where lots of your dream target clients are going to be attending, is there an opportunity there for you to speak, or to sponsor the event, or to have a stand at the event, or to advertise, or to pay to put stuff in the goodie bags, or just flipping go along and network? Think outside the box. Do the things that your competition are not prepared to do. And that's what we've been talking about for the last hour nearly. Because your competition are lazy. The good news is the bar is so low in our industry. So low. Hardly any of them do anything outside of organic social media. That's why I've made this flipping presentation for you. What about your existing clients? If you don't have, you should absolutely have a referral program, because that is a collab with your happy clients. The point of this presentation today was to try and open your eyes to the fact that there are heaps of ways to attract your dream target clients, right? Lots of ways outside of social media, in fact. And in summary, remember that organic social media is only going to get you so far. And furthermore, it's exhausting. Rather, I would encourage you to try and leverage money to be in way more places than you could ever imagine. Remember, it's not free. If you're spending 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day on it, it's not free. You're spending your time that you're never going to get back. And please don't rely on just one source of leads for your business. Aim for 6 pillars, right? For your own personal Parthenon, and you and your business will never go hungry. You want to go where the crowds are not. And by definition, you immediately stand out. Rather than trying to just bang your drum and shout louder than everyone else on social media, which is exhausting, why not use your noodle and think about going where your competition aren't? And that way you can build more meaningful relationships with your clients. And that is what's really going to help you. And ultimately, if you want different results to what other people are getting, then you need to do some things differently. Okay. And one of the things that you can do differently is not just put all of your time and efforts into social media, and try some different things. And it'll be different for each of you. Has this been useful? Kay says, is there a training session that goes into Google Ads in more detail? Yeah, so basically, Kay, there is. So as part of our Salonology Gold Club, within our hub training area, there is a guest expert from an actual expert Google Ads specialist. So yes, you can go and watch that from her. Are you ready to go deeper? Because if you are, and you've enjoyed that, you've got to appreciate that almost everything there is just very much surface level stuff. And for you members here that are watching, that are already members of our Gold Club, then we already have a plethora of trainings that are going to help you go deeper on lots of those topics. And if you're not a member of Gold Club, then I've got an offer for you. Because if you're here today and you've watched this far of this presentation, I know that you are interested in change in your business. And I know that you are keen to invest your time in yourself to help grow your business in the future. And I want to tell you a little bit about our Salonology Gold Club, if that's okay. It's only going to take 10 or 15 minutes, okay? But if you really want to grow your business, this is where you need to be, okay? And here's one of many emails that I get all the time, right? This one said, Ryan, I just want to drop you a note to say what a life-changing decision I made when I joined your Gold Club. It's so wonderful to be supported by so many salon owners, and of course you and Holly. The last 4 weeks have given me my mojo back and even inspired me to get motivated back into exercise again. I can't thank you enough. You see, we kept seeing the same challenges for owners of salons. And if any of these are you, then you need to get involved, right? And that was a lack of inspiration, right? Not knowing what to post, not knowing how to market their business, not knowing how to get in front of clients. They had a lack of knowledge in those areas, right? Ignorance is not bliss. If you don't know how to do these things, you need to invest your time to learn how to do it. It's going to be the best investment you ever make. A lack of time and or direction, right? So a lot of people are like, I don't have time to do everything that I want to do. That's something we help with. And some people just didn't know what they should be doing first, right? And for a lot of people, it is a lack of dream clients, or maybe even a feeling of loneliness, because I hear you, it's lonely in business. No one really gets it, right? We're all a bit, aren't we? We're a bit different as business types. Folks who have got employed jobs 9 to 5, they just don't get us, do they? Right? So if you would like to solve all of those problems once and for all, then you are in the right place. Our Salonology Gold Club group coaching program is for all types of salon owners or aesthetic businesses, clinics. Doesn't matter if you're high street, at home, mobile, in your garden cabin. It does not matter. Doesn't matter if you've got a huge team. Doesn't matter if you work alone. but it is for people that want to push themselves to achieve more. And it's for people that are looking to make some changes to get some different results, right? Because if you keep doing what you've been doing all this time, you're just going to get the same results over and over and over and over and over again. This is for the go-getters and it's for the action takers. Maybe it's for you, right? Here's what you get when you join our Gold Club. You get group coaching and mentorship from me and Holly, right? We have helped thousands of people just like you. I promise you, there's nothing that we haven't seen in the last 10 years of doing this. And remember, that was on top of building our own incredibly successful salon and day spa as well. You get live monthly coaching videos with Holly and I. You get a weekday video every day from me, right? You even get access to our annual summit. There we all are. We've descended upon Birmingham every year for our annual summit, where you get to meet other people going through the same stuff as you, so you never need to feel lonely again. You also get done with you marketing every month with Holly's Oracle, where she lays out exactly how she would be promoting our day spa and salon if we still owned it. You also get unlimited access to the Salonology hub, which I like to say is like Netflix for salons. They might not appreciate me saying that, but that's how I think of it, right? Which basically has got a whole a library of programs which go deeper on the things that we've been talking about today. In fact, I will tell you what some of those are in a minute, right? Here's what someone else told me. They said, I've followed Ryan and Holly for a few years now. On Friday, I decided to take a leap of faith and finally join Gold Club. I've been working through my trainings over the weekend. I'm blown away by how amazing the content is. I've just finished a training on topic of Facebook, and I'm actually mind blown. If you're sat there thinking about it, debating join like I was, my advice would be to then go for it. I've got hundreds of testimonials like this. I'm not going to read them all out, but I've got loads. And if you enjoyed today's training, you're going to love our full-length training courses because they go way deeper. There's only so much I can cover in a 1-hour free session, right? So we go deep on this stuff, including Facebook, right? How to make leaflets, your website, how getting that right, how to sell using video, how to recruit the best team and keep them, how to do your pricing correctly, including our famous pricing calculator, which will tell you exactly how much profit or not you're making on all of your treatments. How to get more bookings in a short period of time, how to manage your time better, how to get more Google reviews, how to market your business properly at last, right? How to fill your diaries, right? How to send emails that get you clients. These are all full-length courses that are included for you as part of our Gold Club program. And we add more stuff every quarter. And we've even invited a load of other experts in to teach stuff as well. Valerie Delforge teaching how to do reception better, right? Viv Johns teaching Instagram, how to get local SEO so you show up at the top of Google for free with Benji, right? How to run salon memberships, how to get free salon PR, how to run Google ads, the numbers in your business you've got to know, how to get more sales, how to write better copy, right? How to do Facebook ads, how to lead a team. All of this is included as part of your Gold Club membership. And you might need to pick your jaw back up in a minute or scrape yourself up back off the floor when I tell you that how about you could get all of that for just £7. And no, I haven't lost the plot, although I know it might sound like it. It's £7 for a test drive of our Gold Club to see if you like it. And then it's just £67 a month for as long as you remain a member. There's no minimum term, no notice period to leave, no small print, no shenanigans. We include a money-back guarantee, literally nothing to lose. I can see in the chat today, Nina's put, Gold Club is so worthwhile joining, the best beauty training group I've ever been in. Thanks, Nina. And Sukji says the best place to be is in Gold Club. If you would like to join for £7 just to take a test drive to see if it's any good, then just comment the number 7 in the comments and I will reach out to you, okay? I will also put the copy. Elizabeth says, I will try for a week. You get to try it for a month for £7, Elizabeth. It's even better than that, right? So as I say, you get to try it all out for just £7, okay? And I will include the link in the comments. and you will need to use the promo code, which is test drive. Okay. All in capitals, test drive. Stacy wants in, Eva wants back in, Sharon wants in, Heather wants in. Smart decision, ladies. You get access to all of that stuff. And if it's a crock of you know what, and it's been rubbish and you want your money back, you let me know after 30 days and I will gladly give you your money back. We've been offering a money back guarantee for years. And so far, one person ever has called me out on that, right? And I'm pretty sure that's because they never used any of it, right? Here's an email I got. They're finally coming, Ryan. Clients are coming and paying my price. And now that I'm confident and 10,000% believing in myself, the clients believe in me and are loving me and what I do. Thank you for helping me to see the way forward. You are awesome, right? How about this one? I feel I've got my business where I want to be thanks to Gold Club. I now work part-time. I've taken Saturdays off. I have regular holidays and I spend much more time with my friends and my family. I thank you both for this, as I really have been a complete slave to my business for 30 years. Wow. Do you want a result like that for your business, right? So again, I have put the link in the comments, or if you're watching this video afterwards, then the link will be somewhere around in the description. You need to just use the promo code test drive, TESTDRIVE, and at the checkout, that will reduce the price from £67 to just £7 for your first month. Okay. I'm super excited for joining me. I want to say a massive thank you to joining me here today. I hope you got real value from the session as well. Who was it that won the book? It was Heather. Heather, please DM me your address so that I can send you your book. Everyone else, I'm excited to welcome you over into Gold Club. I will see you soon. I hope you have a terrific week. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you got terrific value today, and I will see you all real soon, okay? Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.